Hello and welcome to VR Reviews. Today we'll be reviewing the Playarts Kai Deus Ex Human Revolution Lawrence Barrett. So yes, finishing up the Deus Ex Human Revolution series, here we have Barrett. He is by far the biggest Playarts Kai figure that I have seen in person, and he is pretty awesome. He has a similar level of articulation and detail to your average Playarts Kai figure, and he is just overall pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and zoom in for the articulation, scope paint details, all those sorts of things. Alright, starting off with a quick size comparison. Here we have Barrett. Here's our standard Marvel Legends 6-inch Superior Spider-Man and our 3 3/4-inch Marvel Universe Wolverine. As you can tell, Barrett is like twice the height, or close to it, of a Marvel Legends figure, and is of course way bigger than the 3 3/4-inch figure. Now, let's see what he looks like compared to his Deus Ex Human Revolution friends. Alright, here we have a size comparison between everyone in the series. Here's Jensen, here is Fedorova, and here is Barrett. Obviously, Barrett is a massive bastard and is much bigger and taller than the rest of the figures. Yila and Jensen are about the same height, but Jensen is a bit bulkier. Now let's get the other two out of here and just look at Barrett. Alright, moving on to our 360 spin. Here you can see Barrett. He's got some big sort of technological muscle arms, some little silver imprints and stuff like that. He's got the big arm pieces down on the forearms that turn into guns, and they have sort of a dark camo pattern to them. His pants also have a camo pattern to them. He has a little gold longhorn-like belt buckle there. He has some big knee pads, and then her shins just have sort of like little line work patterns on them there. His chest piece has lots of little straps, and it's got grenades on it. Some frag grenades and some possibly stun grenades or something like that. He has a big backpack thing on his back, and he's got these little shield things that come up to keep you from shooting him in the face. That's about it for all of his body detail. Let's move on to the head sculpt. Moving on to the head sculpt, I believe it is done very well. They did do a bit of excess shading up here on the forehead, which looks a bit weird, but for the most part, the head sculpt looks really nice. He has some very light-colored eyes that are painted fairly well. His skin tone looks pretty good. He's got a nose ring, which is a bit unusual. He has sort of like an augmented jaw. I don't know what purpose that serves unless he's actually had his jaw removed by some accidental means. His hair is sculpted very nicely. It's very spiky, military sort of look. Looks very good, painted very well. And yeah, for the most part, I think it is a pretty good head sculpt. Looks like Barrett from what I remember. Now let's zoom out and look at some articulation. Articulation-wise, Barrett is pretty standard for a Playarts Kai figure, which means he is pretty good. He's got a ball peg head, goes up a little bit, down, side to side, rotates. It's all fairly decent. Ball joint shoulders, in and out, forward and back. He's got the butterfly joint that moves in and out, forward and back. Pops out kind of easily sometimes, but it usually just goes back in there, but I can't see it very well right now. And I've replaced it. He has bicep cut. He has a single joint ball joint sort of elbow that rotates a little bit side to side, but mostly just hinges in and out. Same thing in the wrist, rotation and hinge. He has a pretty good diaphragm joint that moves in and out, side to side, rotates. Same thing in the lower waist to a lesser extent, in and out, side to side, rotation. Ball joint hips, in and out, forward and back, and swivels a little bit on the ball peg. Double jointed knees. The knee pad hides the knee joint to a certain extent, so it's a decent Playarts Kai knee. Then he has ball joints in the ankles. You can rotate those around and get a little bit of pivot out of them and hinge them up and down. So for the most part, his articulation is pretty good. Barrett comes with a couple of interchangeable pieces, so let's go ahead and look at those. Here are Barrett's interchangeable pieces. He has two open hands, which are detailed very nicely. They have that nice sort of metal animatronic look to them. They look really cool. And then he's got his interchangeable forearm piece, which is a big Gatling gun that he tries to kill you with. So those are all very cool. That wraps it up for all of Barrett's accessories. Let's move on to the packaging. Packaging-wise, Barrett comes in the same style of packaging that the rest of this series does. Big window here. You got your big gold scale cityscape there in the background. Deus Ex Human Revolution Playarts Kai Lawrence Barrett. On the back, you get some pictures of the figures, as well as the other two figures in this series, which are Adam Jensen and Yila Fedorova. I have reviewed both of those, so you can go watch that if you so desire, as well as a bunch of warnings and stuff in Japanese that I cannot read. As always, these are good for in or out of package display, so yeah, Barrett. Alright, that wraps it up for Barrett, so until next time, goodbye!
Hello, you've just watched one of my videos. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed my videos. If you didn't, run away and never return. Also, feel free to check out my other channels, Venom Raptor for all my variety gaming content, and VR Reviews for reviews of various action figures and collectibles. Thank you, and goodbye.